Good morning, everyone. Today, we will start with the activities of the UPSI's Bilingual and International Days. I introduce myself. I am the Professor Monica Gonzalez, support teacher of the English area. English day by day denotes its importance, both in a work and personal way. It becomes a necessary competence either for travel or to look for work, as well as to look for better opportunities, scholarships, or improve the working position. These are some reasons why today's activities were prepared. We will start the cycle of lectures with Luis Alberto Ángeles Garcia. He feels passion for being a mentor and develop people in the world of technology and digital entrepreneurship. Graduated as a computer systems engineer from the Monterrey Institute of Technology and Higher Education. MBA from Keller University graduate, School of Management in St. Louis, Missouri. Co-founder of Mazapan, a tech company specialized in software development. Entrepreneur and co-founder of Animal Sphere app. Selected by Google as one of the best Mexican startups and being presented at Collision Conf in Las Vegas for international exposure. More than 15 years of experience in IT consulting and project management for companies in Mexico, the United States, and Barcelona, where he currently works and lives. Today, he is going to tell us how to differentiate yourself against international candidates. It is an honor that he is with us. I give the floor to him. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So I'm gonna start my presentation. Let me know if you can see it. Okay, I named this presentation "How to Differentiate Yourself Against International Candidates." I titled this presentation that way because basically right now I'm living and working in Barcelona, right? So this is Barcelona. This is one of the views from one of the closed mountains that are in the city. You can see here is the Holy Family Church that it's being built for more than 100 years. It's the architecture is called Antoni Gaudí. I'm a huge fan of Antoni Gaudí. Also, my wife is very fan of him. You can see the Akbar Tower, which is very close to the beach. It's a beautiful city. And I've been working here for a company called Entity Data software company, and I've been project manager for some of the projects here. Basically, helping the customers, such as banks or insurance companies, and how to improve their processes and reduce their cost in order to provide a better customer service for everyone. What I'm going to tell you is that this is not the farthest place that I've been lately during these 3 years that I've been living here. During my first month, I was sent to Copenhagen. This is one of the pictures that I took from Copenhagen. And during this few months, basically, I was in a training camp for an insurance core system, joining with some people from India, from London, from Lithuania. And we stayed there for the whole month, and not just knowing the city, but knowing a lot of people, going to different places together, and basically we just had to share our cultures with each other. One of the curiosities during that trip is that one of the main or most famous restaurants in Copenhagen is from a Mexican chef. So that's very interesting. I found that very interesting. So let me tell you a story about two of my coworkers. Okay, I want you to meet Juan Carlos. These are real people. These are from my current project. And Juan Carlos has a master's degree in computer science. has about 2 years of experience developing software, and 1 year he was working with me, so he was like my right hand during all this time. He's very outgoing and with strong leadership skills. So he was like the guy that helped me to develop the whole architecture for one of my projects. And I trusted him, and he was like as I said, my right hand. On the other hand, I had Jan. Jan had a degree in computer science, 1 year of experience developing software, and he was working with me for just about two months. Right? He was just graduating from college, and he had some good communication skills. At some point during the project, we had to present a demo to people in Japan. So all of the other demos, I trusted Juan Carlos to do the demo and just left everything to him, so he could just speak as he knew all the details of the project. But guess what? He couldn't do that demo because he didn't speak English. So in that time, I had to go with Jan, and Jan did a very good English. So he was the one making the demo for the people from Japan. So now the question is, who do you think got a raise or a better promotion during that year? Both are equally trained, and both are very trustworthy person to work with. But obviously, Jan got the bigger promotion because of that. So let me show you this graph that I got from the internet. So this is the most commonly used language on the internet. This is the percentage of the top 10 million websites using the language. So 64 of these websites are in English, compared to the ones that are in Spanish, which is just the 4%. That means that we are losing a lot of information if we are not understanding what's going on in there. Things like online classes, things like series or movies or blogs, videos, everything that is on the internet, 60% is in English. That is compared to the share of the world population that speaks the language, which is about 16% of the people that speaks English, compared to the bigger population that speaks Spanish, right? So there's a lot of other interesting data right here, but I want you to notice the importance of the English content on the internet. Basically, because for me, it's a daily basis going to Google and search for resources on the internet. It's basically everything in English. So I couldn't spend much more time doing the translation because I had to consume information that is in English. As I said, there are conferences, webinars, there are blogs, there are a lot of information that it's posted on the internet. It's in English, and that's the information that I need to move on the projects that I'm working on, or to learn some of the new technologies that I need to implement for some of the companies here in Barcelona, or companies in Londres, or companies in Copenhagen, as I said. So basically, it's not a thing that I know everything that I need to know. It's just that I know where to search for it, right? And I know which is the people that have that knowledge, and I know how to ask them, okay? So I want you to know that these are the top skills that employers are looking for. And this is regardless the job, regardless if you want to study law, if you want to study biomedical science, or you want to become an engineer. regardless of everything, the companies are looking for people that are creating for problem solving and innovation. You have to be open-minded about how to solve different challenges in a day-to-day basis. Here's the communication skills. You don't know to just write an email. You can do a presentation, and here you can even dig a little bit deeper with managing or speaking a different language, such as English, French, um, or German. Time management. For instance, you need to learn how to handle different tasks at the same time without getting into multitasking, because that way you're going to be losing some of the focus that you need to put into the task. A growth mindset means that you are always need to be looking for things on how to improve yourself, how to learn new things pretty much every day, not just for technology, but for regarding what's going on in the country, or what's I don't know, probably somebody else is working in a different project that might help you in some way, so you can take that and use it somehow. The emotional intelligence means that you need to be aware of your feelings, of your thoughts, and try to maintain like a calm mindset against some of the stress and problems that comes during the work environment. The collaboration, as I said, well, one of my teachers back in college used to say, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know the people who knows the thing that you need, right? So you just need to have the telephone number of that guy, of that person that has the knowledge. You need to learn how to do the teamwork. Adaptability, there are many times that you want to do, or you have some preferences regarding your task, and there are sometimes that you cannot perform those because of the client that requires different things. So you just need to adapt and take the most of every circumstance there. Active listening. So this is not just about listening and stay um, stay reactive about that. Active listening means that you are going to be thinking about what I'm going to ask to that person that is talking to me about, like, or right now you should be thinking about the questions that you're going to ask me at the end of the presentation. So that's kind of the active listening, not just nodding, not just being there, but just being active about making your um, to be present into the conversation. And leadership, well, this is kind of obvious, but everyone wants to find the leader that is gonna make things happen in their job environment, or towards the project, the results of the project, right? So basically, um, regardless of the job, these are the skills that are going to be uh, required for you to get hired, to get a better promotion, to I don't know, to even as I said in a title of the presentation, differentiate yourself against international other international people. Um, I took a snapshot, but right now I didn't have enough time to include it into the presentation. But I did a snapshot of a meeting that I was having today, and all of the attendants there, they had names that I couldn't even pronounce. There were people from India, from Japan, from Belgium. So I just wanted to show you that once that you learn to understand and write and communicate in English, you open your possibilities to an international communication. And the funny thing is that all of those people that were in the meeting, they have different accents. And it's basically they don't care. As you can notice, I don't speak a perfect English. It just needs to be. You just need to provide the idea that that communicate your idea clearly, so that way everybody understands. And the same happens with the Japanese accents and the Russian accents and the Indian accents. So, okay, learning English differently. From my perspective, from my experience though, I learned English playing video games, basically because we didn't have any other option. I used to play this video game. It is called Metal Gear, and you were this like a spy codename Snake, and you had to go through different missions. And a lot of times during the video game, this guy appeared here and talk to you through a radio and start giving you instructions on what to do. And I didn't know. Well, I knew a little bit of English, but I couldn't play anymore if I couldn't understand what to do. So basically, I had to take my dictionary next to me while I was playing, right? So that was kind of back in the days, and right now you can change the language and start playing in Spanish or in any other language, which I recommend not to do. Right now, there are different places or ways to learn English in a different way, in a funny way, right? For instance, if you like series, you can watch them with English subtitles, which is very fun because that way you can start associating the pronunciation with the spelling of the word in all of the sentence. So that's a good one. There are apps such as Duolingo. It's very famous. I haven't used it, but it's very famous. It seems to be working. Another way is to just put on Spotify, play your favorite music, and check the lyrics. If you start singing the songs, you're gonna improve your pronunciation too, and you're gonna become more fluid with your English. There's also meetup places. Basically, this is a platform where you get into, you register yourself, and there are many activities, such as going out for taking photograph lessons. There are meetups for watching some cinema together. And for instance, I took a snapshot of this one because there's a lot of people that comes from different places, such as France or the United States or you name it, and they want to learn Spanish. And that way, it's going to be like an interchange of cultures, because you want to learn English, they want to learn Spanish, and who knows, probably even you found something else, such as law. Okay, and something that I also recommend is that change your language settings of the phone, change it to English. I really recommend that, and I prefer that. I've ever preferred that because it is more intuitive. Because sometimes the translations are not very useful. I don't know if you have noticed that, but I have noticed that, and also in all of my devices, the computer, the TV, everything is set up in English. You just need to get yourself into a day-to-day basis with the English. So that's something that I really recommend you to start doing. Just start putting everything in English, and you that will be like the best way to do it. Well, besides formal classes, as you are taking, right? Okay, I'm gonna put here. These are also in Spanish, but I do like these tweets. For instance, this one called is about the fear paradox. It says the thing we fear the most is often the thing we most need to do. Basically, every time that we fear something, that we're afraid of something, you need to differentiate if that fear is like a real fear that it's going to harm you or your life is in danger. But if it's not, then just do it. If it is a fear regarding, I don't know, talking in public, doing a presentation, or taking a job, or I don't know if I'm able to do that, to perform that opportunity, I will say just do it. Fear means go. Fear means you can do it, and says take the leap. You may just find growth on the other side. You might get a better result, and after doing that affects you, you're gonna notice that you're gonna understand that that's gonna make you a better person. Another saying, I like this one. It says, work hard to get paid for your mind, not for your time, right? So once that you get until a point that you already have knowledge and experience, you're gonna be get paid for your thoughts, your recommendations, your consultancy. This is another tweet. This is a recent one. I do like it because it says you need to just learn English. This is a code developer, right? So he's into technology. Learn English, learn how to use Google, implement what you have learned, and teach it to somebody else. I really agree with all of these 4 points, because basically that's what that's what I do. That's what I do, and that's what I like to do. Not just about learning the English, but change this to everything that you want. For instance, learn a new programming language, learn a new finance formula, learn something else. Use obviously Google. As I said previously, there are a lot of material on the internet. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have internet connection, basically. So learn how to Google things, how to use the forums. You can even ask people that wrote some of the blog entrants. So basically, internet is the whole world, and we don't we have to explode that information for us. If you have internet connection, you have access to the knowledge. So use it and teach it back to somebody else. That's how you are gonna really understand and put in practice everything that you have just learned. Okay, this is another one that kind of ironic, but it says that going into or migrating to another country, it's not always the best option for all the work. Sometimes working remotely and having a salary in dollars or in euros gets you 10 times better than going to another country. That's true. That's very true, because now with the pandemic and everything, all the remote working that has been growing, you can see that there are some cases about people moving from the big cities. For instance, I know that people from San Francisco, which is a very expensive city, is moving back to Mexico, or moving back or moving to a place where it's more cheaper, the lifestyle, you know. In that way, it's kind of like if you are receiving more payment for the same things that you are doing, right? And people here in Barcelona are doing the same thing. They are moving to little towns that are like 2 or 3 hours far from Barcelona. So the prices of living are lower compared to living in the big city. So that's a new tendency that I wanted to put it in here too, just to we can have a chat afterwards. Um, Living in a foreign country also gives you a different perspective and more a different experience. You get to meet people with different thoughts, different way of thinking, with different culture. But also keep in mind this: probably in a few years, my wife and I come back to Mexico and start working remotely for who knows which part of the world. You know, we are going into a technology world where everything is just in, the distances are getting are being disappeared, right? So just for my final slide, I just wanted to let you know that speaking English have opened me a bunch of opportunities for my professional career, my personal career, for many opportunities. I truly recommend you to really embrace yourself into the trip of learning a different language, and especially English, because that's the one that it's kind of the common language right now. I would say the same about the French language, but I will start with something that it's kind of close to us, which is the English. If you get to go to the US, for instance, will be another great experience for you, because that way you force yourself to speak to the people in English. You don't have any other option, because they're not gonna talk to you in Spanish, but you get to go to a restaurant in English. So you just live yourself in English. That will be kind of like my final thought. I do know, now that I'm here in Barcelona, I do know that there's a lot of talent in Mexico. I have worked with graduates from universities in Mexico, and I compared them with the people graduated from Spain, universities in Spain, and I do compare them, and I can notice that there's a big level, or like a great level of college degrees, or the education in Mexico. It has a great level, I would say. So we just need to improve just a little bit of English, probably. And I mean, why do the US go to India or go to China to get or going to Lithuania to get software developed by those people? They can go to Mexico to not just for cheap labor, but for great brains, for great minds that are in Mexico, and we can be that leverage for them or for the country, and for us, if we just learn how to communicate with them and understand us. So that's the end of my presentation, and I don't know if you have any questions regarding this.
Thank you very much, Maestro Luis Alberto. That was pretty useful and interesting. Yes, we leave a space open for questions from the audience. Here we have 3 questions. They are in Spanish, but okay. The first one says, ¿ha sido difícil adaptarse a la vida laboral en otro país?
A little bit, a little bit. Do you want me to answer that in English or Spanish?
It's up to you.
Okay, it's been a little bit, but I will have to say that it's been for the better. Because, for instance, I do notice that, at least here in Spain, there's a lot of importance for the balance between life and work. You know? Life-work balance is very important. For instance, during the summer, which is from July 15th till September 15th, pretty much all of the companies reduce their amount of hours, and everybody just basically closes the offices around 3 or 4 p.m., which is great. I mean, during those 3 months, you get that free time for you, for enjoying with your family, for going out to the beach with your friends. And that sort of mentality, it's something that it's rarely seen in Mexico, I would have to say. That's for the better. What else? It depends also in the managers that you get, because some of the managers that I had at the beginning were very, very cool, very relaxed. I had pretty much the same values as them, so we could work together very, very good. But some other managers are not that into that mood, and I had some more tough time working with them. So it depends. It depends. But I do remember, for instance, while I was in Copenhagen, with this team created conformed by people from London and from India, and I remember that we had to do some production deployment, and usually during production deployments, those are very important and usually are done during weekends or during the night, because you don't want to disrupt the operation of the business. And I do remember that it was, I don't know, it was going to be tomorrow, for instance, the deployment. And we weren't ready. And the manager just came, and it was like, okay, so it's 6 o'clock. Let's go home. Let's continue tomorrow. And I was like, what's going on? Usually, if this happens in Mexico, we would have to stay all night long, pretty much like working until we had fixed everything. And she said, like, no, let's go. There's no purpose to stay here and do this. We're not ready, so we're gonna change the date. And I was like, really? You can do that? Because I was so used to just, I don't know, like have this ready until it is done. And answering the question, I believe that it wasn't that tough to adjust to the way of working, because of the previous experience, of the previous knowledge that I had already, the way that I had to work. Basically, if you want to see it that way, they called me because of something, and I had to to come here, not to receive orders, kind of, but just to give some advices on how to improve, right? So that's kind of a different mentality, and kind of a difference between when one is a boss that tells you what you need to do and just keep pushing you to your limits, and the other one is the leader. So which one do you prefer? The one that is always kind of giving you with the whiplash, like telling you like, you need to finish this today. You need to I don't know, whatever you need to do to finish it? Or do you prefer the other one that it's gonna inspire you to do your job the best way you can do? So I basically prefer the second one, right? So that's the thing that I will mention regarding working in a different environment, that I started to notice bad practices that we have in Mexico, kind of, sadly.
Thank you. We have a second question. It says, ¿cuál considera que fue la habilidad o herramienta determinante para ser elegido para ir a trabajar a Barcelona?
I believe that I will have to say my problem-solving skill. As you can tell, I'm a very relaxed guy, so that's kind of another ability, another skill that you need to remain calm in strong situations, in situations where you have no control. There's a lot of uncertainty in the environment, and you just need to remain calm, focused, and let's say we need to analyze the situation and find all the alternatives that we can have, and just choose one. So I will say my problem solving and leadership, because that's the only the things that have giving me more promotions, because my managers can count on me, even if I don't have the knowledge, because I don't have the knowledge for all of the technologies or all the circumstances in the project. I don't have it. But I do know how to move around and look for things, as I said, either on the internet or either asking the other guys and just putting some ideas here and there and just create something new. And from that, everything has been turned out very well. And I will say that was it for me. Also, well, this is something that I also need to be improving, but this is more like an advice. Just improve your communication skills. Just put a lot of effort in your communication skills, because as the example that I put with Juan Carlos and Jan, they both were very good, but the communication skills were the ones that really can get you a better promotion. How do you sell yourself? Kind of, it's like the soft skills that are gonna really give you an advantage over everyone else.
Great. Well, we want to thank you for being here today with us. We really appreciate your participation and your time. You will be sent a recognition signed by Maestra Teresa Lizeth Martinez Plata, rector of this university. Well, thank you so much again. The next lecture is my experience in China and Canada, in which 4 of our teachers are going to share their experience abroad. We invite you to continue with us at 12 o'clock. Thank you very much and see you then.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone to this roundtable. At UPSI, teachers are an essential part of the success and training of students. That is why there are mobility programs abroad, which offer courses that strengthen their knowledge and skills. Today, we are joined by 4 teachers who will share their experience in China and Canada. It is my pleasure to introduce to you teacher Patricia Dávila Hernández, Professor Ángel Merino Valdés, Professor Roberto Carlos Flores Suárez, and Professor Alejandro Adolfo Sepúlveda Barrera. I give the word to Professor Roberto Carlos Flores.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Okay, let's get started. We're gonna share about our experience traveling abroad and the programs we were in. And well, we're gonna have some questions so we can discuss different topics about these experiences. Share the first question. Okay, the first question says, what do you consider are the most challenging things when traveling abroad? Okay, I think I can answer that one. Of course, there are a lot of challenging things when you travel abroad, from the preparation to getting there and staying there. Well, in my concern, especially about, as I am an English teacher, regarding the language, some people worry about, would it be difficult? Would my English be enough? It can be enough, though it can be a challenge. What are the things I consider were the most challenging for me? The first was going through customs at the international airport. People in general will be friendly, so they will help you with whatever you need. They will see that that you need to speak. Well, they need to speak to you a bit slower or in a clearer way. But at the customs, they are not really friendly. They can be kind of imposing. So that's one of the parts that I found a bit challenging. But well, once you pull yourself together, I think you're able to get through there, and there's no problem because, well, you have all your documents and you have even your letter acceptance from the school, so no problem getting there. And the second thing, I guess, is when you're already going around town, well, in some cases, going like to a fast food restaurant, you hear people speaking in English and you're like, okay, I think this is English I have never heard before. So that's something I found challenging, but also interesting because you see that you're exposed to different ways of speaking language in a very, very natural ways and very informal ways, of course. So for me, this be those two. Still, you can manage yourself, of course. Okay, now we're gonna have another question. Okay, this question's, oh, I think it's the same, isn't it? It was the same question. Okay, now this one, it said, what was the most impressive thing about Canada, culture, sorry, in Canada? Okay, I think Professor Merino can answer this question, so we hear you. Angel Merino, I think that question is for you. Yes, the question is, what was the most impressive thing about culture in Canada?
Okay, thank you so much for having me with you. And to explain one of the things that I have living in Canada. Okay, what impressed me the most is the warmth with which we were received not only by the hosts but by the community. Okay, culture doesn't just mean getting along, but being environmentally conscious. They were pretty strict with how they get rid of their waste. Okay, the challenge of communicating with native English speakers makes you have to improve since English classes are the basis, but practice forces you to communicate in a better way. Okay, that's the thing that I can have to answer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we're gonna have now another question. Again, the next question says, again, it's the same, right? Yeah. Okay, because we're having problems with the generation of questions. Okay, the next one says, this one is for Patricia Davila. What would you say are the main differences in language classes?
Well, hi everyone. Well, I personally see that there are more similarities than differences in language classes because you might think that all language teachers are native speakers of English. However, for example, I had two teachers that spoke perfect English but had very strong accents. One was from Poland and the other was from India. So, for example, you must take into consideration that Canada is a country full of immigrants. So in your classes, for example, your teacher may be speaking English, but with a strong accent, just like we have in Mexico, for example. And I think that another misconception is that we imagine that language classes in a developed country like Canada should be very different in the way of using, for example, technological resources. But surprisingly, the method they use it's way more traditional than ours in many ways. For example, one thing that I noticed is that their boards are chalkboards, and even in some classes, I saw them using overhead projectors that are from 1960s. So I'm not generalizing, but our classes in Mexico are equally good in terms of teachers training, and I guess that sometimes we are even more resourceful.
Very good, thank you, Patty. Thanks for sharing with us. That's really interesting, and we can see how we actually are breaking the myth. When we get there, we can actually debunk some myths about studying abroad. Thank you, Patty. Okay. Okay, now we have another question. This will be for Alejandro Sepúlveda, and it says, how to get mobility program related to my career?
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Well, there are several ways in order to get mobility grants. For example, from federal government, state government, of course, here in the UPSI, we have that possibility in order to get that kind of programs for the students. And there are, for example, private entities, then the embassies. And for example, all of that during your career, you can get all of these cases of mobilities. But for example, at the end of your career, it's possible to get scholarship in order to study a master degree or PhD degree. For example, you can try to search in some institutes as, for example, CONACYT, that is the federal area that has relation with different universities in different countries. For example, here in the state, in el Estado de Mexico, the COMECYT is almost the same that the CONACYT. There are international institutions that offer seminars, for example, projects and research collaborations with different universities. For example, in my case, I get a mobility to China using institute that the name is Amexit here in Mexico. It's an agency. It's an agency that they try to find collaborations around the world with different universities. And in my case, I got a mobility to China for the Ministry of Commerce from the People's Republic of China, in order to study the machinery and electronic industry over there. And that are good ideas in order to get a mobility, no? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Also very interesting. Thank you. So as you can see, well, the people who is watching us talk today, you can see it's not that difficult, or it must not be that difficult to get a scholarship. And as you can see, there are a lot of options, and also depends on what are your intentions on traveling. It can be related to different things and also to different places. Very good. Thank you, Alex. Okay, now we have another question, and I think this is one I'm going to answer. The question says, how can going on a mobility program help you improve your English? That's another question. If I travel, will I immediately improve my English, or what will be the means of it to improve my English? Can it improve? The simple answer will be yes, but it's not as a magical thing. When you travel, you must already have a certain level, and that will determine if you're able to do certain things. Of course, there is the challenge, and the challenge will push you into communicating and, of course, using your English. You will realize too that you are not only communicating with words, rather you also have your body language, and you can, well, you also have the interaction with other people, so they will also help you to understand and, exchange information. That's what you need. And of course, you have the context. So once you get used to it, to speaking and being forced to speak, yeah, you will start feeling, yeah, you are actually doing it. You see that you're being successful in communicating. So yeah, it can improve, it can change, let's say, your mindset, and see that even if you consider that your English level is not that good, you can actually communicate. Okay, now we have another question. This is for Patricia Davila again. And the question says, what is important to consider when we are attending language classes abroad? So, Patty, your microphone is off.
Sorry. Well, now, yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes,
Well,
I can hear you now.
language classes in a country where English is spoken are different in the kind of students that we might find there. The majority of their students are immigrants from Asian countries or children of parents who are worried or concerned about giving them education in a globalized world. So, for example, we don't imagine that we can see people speaking all the time their native language, like Mandarin or any other. We know that, for example, when they want to immigrate and study in a university there, they must possess a certain level of English, a level in proficiency. So, for example, if we are attending a class there, we might be among students with zero English, so they are going to be like very quiet all the time. And for example, that makes the students feel a little bit nervous because, for example, we Mexican, we are like um, willing to speak and willing to ask all the time questions. And for example, if you see that around you there are only quiet students, maybe you can feel a little bit embarrassed to participate. But I think that mainly those could be the things that we can expect. Obviously, if you're attending a language class, you have to speak all the time in English. And that also can be challenging because we think that if we speak, we have to do it, correctly all the time. And this is something that you have to forget. I mean, you have to try to participate and to take advantage of all the opportunities you have to improve your language there.
Thank you, Patty. Very good. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, if you're already there, you're traveling so that you can improve your language. You have to push yourself into it, into using your English. Very good. Okay, we have the next question. This is for Alejandro Sepúlveda, and it says, "Do I have to relate my career to the technological advances of another country?"
Okay. Of course, well, the mobility is not only for in order to know about other cultures or in order to work in your oral production. They have different technologies and different aspects, as for example, in the transportation, in the scientific research, in the industry. It's possible, for example, to know about the best practices that use in other countries. For example, the methodologies and techniques and all the technological advances. No, of course, when you go there, you need to plan or you need to think in how to solve the different problems, no? And import all that new ideas in order to build an innovation or an innovative scenario, no? Is very important. And of course, is you can have or you can build that relation between the technological advances in the countries and your major. Now that is possible. Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you, Alex. Yeah, as we previously mentioned, I think there are a variety of options you can have when applying to scholarship. So it's not necessary to apply to something related to your career, but yeah, of course, it can mean, of course, an advantage and a valuable experience. Thank you, Alex. Okay, and we have the last question. This is for Angel Merino, and it says, what are the places that left the best memories to you? So what were the most memorable places for you, Angel? Okay, it's having problem with connection. Can you hear us now? No, okay, I think I'm gonna wait for him. Yes, Angel, the next question is for you. It's about if you can share what are the most memorable places about the city that you visit.
Okay. One imagines that Niagara Falls is what will leave us the best memories, but the cities of Ottawa, the city of Kingston, the city of Toronto, the organization of the places, the stadiums, the stadiums of the Toronto Blue Jays, the CN Tower, the National Museum of Modern Art, the NHL Museum, the Scotiabank Arena, the Ottawa Government Place, the Kingston City Hall, the Wolfe Island, Lake Ontario, the parks, and as it is easy to reach all of these either by walking or by public transportation, it makes it easy to visit everything you have planned in a certain period of time. Um, there are several things that you can learn about the culture. There's not only the one that we already have in mind, okay? The simple thing to walking around the place that you are living in that time, you can see that even the public services are pretty what can I say awesome. Imagine if you have something like that in Mexico, we can move on to be one better place to live. It was I had a lot of memories with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Yeah, as you said, not only like the natural places, but also the cities. They also can cause a great impression in us. They're in the same line as you. I remember in the city I was, that was Edmonton. I was really impressed by the fact of how the city is organized. There's no way you can get lost there because you always know where you're after other places, but they're named with numbers. So you just know exactly where you're. It's like being on coordinates. Now we're going to share with you some pictures that the teachers took where they were abroad, and so you can comment on them. Okay, the first one is we can see it now. Okay, so Alex, we hear you.
Okay, well, my journey was in China. I got some kind of a scholarship in order to study in a seminar in that country. Next, please. And of course, the most important for me was to know people from different countries like, for example, Africa, here in America, from Europe, of course, from Asia, different countries. And next, please. We know about, for example, the culture of China, and I broke different myths about that culture. And for example, we have round tables in the different factories. We know different factories and the manufacturing processes in the factories. Of course, the first 2 weeks in training and the rest of the time in the seminar, we visited different beautiful areas or beautiful places. For example, for me, next please, was very important. I know, for example, I travel by the high-speed train. Is very amazing. And for example, I think that the mobilities suffer a change, no? When I was in China, it was in 2018, at the beginning of this COVID crisis, no? And in the next year, in 2020, the COVID crisis, the world has a new vision in different aspects of our lives, no? And now, in this year, I think that new mobilities around the world have a new challenges. Next, please. And it's very important when you go, for example, to different countries in order to course seminars or maybe master degrees or different courses, to pay attention, for example, and what are the skills that you need to develop, no? Then the knowledge that you can get, or you can get in order to be a good professional. Of course, it's very important to observe all the innovation aspects and the creativity, the best practices. Next, please. And for me, that was a great experience, because in the rest of the seminar, I was in different factories, 2 or 3 per day, in China, in different sectors. For example, the biomedical sector, in the electronic industry, the transportation industry, military industry. Next, please. Some aspects, for example, in industry that they manage, for example, surveillance systems and the spacecraft industry. Next, please. Okay. And well, for example, in the seminar, one of the objects is to try to work with the different goals of the Sustainable Development agent. There is motivated by the United Nations. And that was very important for me, no? To get different knowledge and to know what are the practices in order to create innovation, and how is the work into that factories, all the technology that the Chinese people have. And that was very important for me, no? That was a great experience. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, we can see through your pictures you were involved in a lot of things there, and well, you make the most of out of your travel abroad. Very good. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna share some pictures taken by teacher Patricia Davila. Before we start, well, people in the audience, if you can start preparing some questions, you may already have some tabs of some things that you might be interested in knowing. Well, prepare your questions, and when we finish sharing these pictures, well, you can ask them. Okay, so Patty, we hear you.
Okay, well, I prepared a video, but before we go there, I would like to tell you that the program in which I was invited, it was about English teachers, but not only English teachers. We also found that other teachers from content classes were invited to this, because we learn many different ways in which we can combine language classes with content classes. I mean, that combination is called Clio. It's something that maybe we can talk about that, but in a different moment. For now, I would like to share just some pictures that I took there and talk about the campus where I was. Its name is Guelph. It is in a small, very small town in Ontario. So when we arrived there, a van took us to the campus, which is huge. It is more than 412 hectares. So imagine, it's huge, huge. And there are different faculties there. So, for example, the students from veterinary, agriculture, science, art, everything in one single campus. But the campus was, as I told you, enormous. We had everything there. Since a small forest inside a botanical garden, and we have restaurants, we have like small parks, huge buildings like the one that you can see there. This institute, for example, was very impressive because it's the place where you can take that photo, no, as a souvenir. Well, I was with another teacher from the school. That's why you can see two people there. I told you there was a gym, an auditorium. For example, in the afternoons, we could swim in the swimming pool. This was our building. There were buildings, like all buildings, like the one that we just saw, and also very modern buildings. For example, we can see that the places where you could stay are, I mean, you could go anywhere, and the town was about 10 minutes, but you have to take always the public transportation. Obviously, we try everything since, for example, beer, this traditional poutine, which is delicious. If you can have the chance to try it, I invite you to do it. I don't know, I am open to questions, but this is what I can tell you. So far, it's one of the best experiences I ever lived. That's why I say thank you. Oops.
Thank you, Patty. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, We can see you have a good time. I mean, you went there to study, but still, doing that can be a good time. Thank you. Okay, and the next is Angel Merino. Okay, so we hear you.
Thank you. There were a few pictures that I could talk about Canada. Well, Canada is a multicultural country, okay, and it shows when you visit it. The first image that you can see right there, it's a sign outside a residence near the home that I was living on, okay. They say they were happy to share the multiculturality. They don't care the type of culture that you have. They were happy that you live there, okay? And of course, check out for the motorbikes, okay? You can see where that is the group that I was part of in the in this journey, okay? Some of them that you can see were UPSI students. Some of them are not right there because they already finished. Well, the most important thing of all of this is the respect they show to the others, okay? People consider you one of the inhabitants of the city. You feel sheltered, you feel more than welcome, okay? Safety is something that you keep in mind, and not because there are many police officers, okay? But because everyone is carrying out their activities without being disturbed or interrupted by someone, okay? The food in Canada is also multicultural, but they do not have such a deep gastronomy, but they have dishes that, like the one that you can see, poutine, that it's the one that also Miss Patty was showing us. Okay, can you change the slide, please, to the other one? Okay, there were several things that you can check, like I told you before. The sightseeing in every city that you visit right there were awesome. Of course, the sports, it's something that they have pretty present. Okay, hockey is the national sport, of course. They have several images or sculptures, pictures. The city of Toronto, it's all about sports, of course. Niagara Falls is something that if you can have the opportunity to travel abroad to Canada, it's something that you must see. Of course, Canada it's so big. Sometimes there were some students that they were in other what can I say, cities that they weren't close to the Niagara Falls. We were at around 5 hours in distance. Okay, so the visit right there give us a lot of, what can I say, perspective. Okay, if we want to be another type of country, we have to check what are the good things and the bad things of others. Okay, that is something that I have to, that is the thing that I have to tell. I don't know if someone have some question or something like that for me.
Thank you, Angel. Yeah, as you can see, and people from the audience, well, the purpose is that you get motivated to take part in these mobility programs. As you can see, they, of course, are enriching for your scholar and professional life, but you can also see they can be important for your personal life too, being exposed to other cultures to learn different ways, different things. Okay, we have a couple of questions, and well, they're free to take, first come, first serve, I would say. The first question we have here says, did you have the passport before applying, and how did you get your passport? Who wants to answer that question?
I can answer that question if you want. Okay. In the moment that I have in the moment that you have that you know that you have to that you get the scholarship, you have to make you have to take out you have to look for the passport. Okay, it's something that it's necessary, of course, to traveling abroad. What happened in my case, and I'm going to put my example, because I got my passport one day before I have to fly. What happened? I already had my old passport, okay, but I couldn't find it. So when I had the appointment in Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores for having the new one, they told me that I had to present the new one, or I have to make what can I say, an essay telling what happened with it, in order to what, to make what can I say, another document for explaining that I had lost or someone stole it from me. That was not the case. I just didn't know where is it. Okay, so I had to move pretty fast in order to have an appointment. I asked the permission to have an appointment, an urgency appointment. Okay, in that case, they told me that they don't have enough appointments in order to help me, but I have to move to other office. So you have to check if you have your passport in order. If not, you have to look for the old one. And at the end, they helped me, because they saw my situation, that I have the scholarship, I have the invitation from the university or the college that I need to travel to, and they helped me. But I can tell you, in my experience, you have to move at in the most what can I say, passionate way, because some issues that like mine could happen. Okay, I was what can I say, one day to not get the flight to get to the college. In that case, if you don't have the documents, you have to make a refund of all the funds that you had. Okay, so you have to be what can I say, pretty careful on the what can I say, on all the documents that you have to get. Okay, so first, again, if you get the scholarship, you have to move as fast as possible to get all the documents necessary. Okay, it's not so difficult to have it, but you have to make several appointments, and of course you have to pay the fee. I don't have the in this moment what is the fee of it, but it's important to do it all in time. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Marina. Yeah, it's a very important document. It's not that difficult to get. Very good. Okay, here we have another question. This question, I think Alejandro Sepulveda can answer it, and it says, what kind of food did you eat in China?
Okay, well, the Chinese food is different than here in Mexico. You know, for example, in China, the food is vegetables that are cooking with vapor or steam. For example, duck, different kind of fish, crabs, Chinese pasta, for example. And I think the food is very healthy over there, no? And of course, a lot of tea, because, for example, the word China, it become from a Chinese word. I think it's provided in the language, the Cantonese, the word of in Spanish tea is cha. It's cha. In China, it comes from that word because remember that there was a country that they had commercial trades with Europe, exporting tea, silk, for example. There are a project now that is the new route of the silk that is the plan for the government, the Chinese government nowadays. And I think it's very different. The food over there, the real Chinese food, that the food here, for example, in America, no, is very, very, very different.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. That was very interesting. Yeah, we would assume that Chinese food as we know it here, it will be exactly the same there. Yeah, of course it's not. So that's another way of debunking the myth. And also very interesting what you said about tea and the relation with the name of the country. That was very interesting. Okay, and finally, well, we have one last question. I think Patty, so she can participate again. And well, we finished with this question. It says, was it difficult for you to get this scholarship?
I don't know. I don't know if that is especially for me. I mean, but I don't think that is difficult. The only thing that you have to consider, students, and I really suggest that if you really have the plan to get a scholarship in the future, you have to be prepared for that. I mean, since you start in this university, you must think that one of the requirements is that, for example, you have to pass all your subjects. So if getting a scholarship is your plan, start studying. And obviously you need to get a certain degree, I mean a proficiency level in the language. So you should take that into consideration, and you should practice your English in any opportunity you have. It's not difficult, but you know that when, for example, the scholarships open some vacancies, there are many students that want to get enrolled in this opportunity. So if you really want to be one, you have to manage all your affairs first. For example, important you have a passport, important that you have the language, important that you pass all your subjects. So this is like a plan. And if you really want to be there, you have to be prepared, because the moment is won't wait for you. I mean, you take the opportunity, or you just see it pass in front of your eyes.
Yes, Patty, everybody at UPSI can get a scholarship. Thanks a lot, teachers. Thanks, Professor Ángel Merino, Professor Roberto Carlos, Professor Alejandro Sepúlveda, and Professor Patricia Dávila. We really appreciate your time and enjoyed listening to your experiences. Soon, you will be sent a recognition signed by Maestra Teresa Lizeth Martinez Plata, rector of this university. And for the audience, the next lecture is English as a Tool of the Future. We invite you to join us at 1 o'clock. We are looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for attending the activities of the UPSI's Bilingual and International Days. Bilingual people tend to be more creative and flexible. They can be more open-minded, and they also find it easier to focus on a variety of tasks simultaneously. And being able to speak two languages helps in other ways too. To talk about English as a tool of the future, we have the presence of Licenciada Aline Mercedes Angulo Castro, to whom I give the word.
Thank you, Teacher Monica. I thank all of you for having me today here at the English week of the UPSI. I am really happy to share with you guys some of my experiences throughout the years and how English has helped me reach goals and how it could probably help you in the future. My idea is to let you know what things we can count on the English language as a tool for the future. Okay, so I am just going to share a quick presentation about my past experiences, and I want to really give you guys examples of how this can be applied. I know that you hear a lot from your teachers repeatedly. English is important. You need to learn English. This is going to help you. But sometimes you don't understand or you do not relate how you are going to land this in your real life. Okay? So, my idea is for me to give you concrete examples of how you can work with this tool if you manage to see it this way. Okay, so as a tool. Um, can you guys see my screen, Teacher Monica?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So I have a few points here that I would like to talk to you about. And at the end, I am going to show you some concrete examples that I lived myself. And then I am going to give you guys a space to ask me questions or comments about any of the things that I will mention today. Um, Currently, I am working at Aprendere Press, which is a commercial ally for Cambridge University Press. So I have been very lucky to being able to collaborate with Cambridge in many ways, um, nationally and internationally. So here in my presentation, I will talk about some of the few examples. And you might think, okay, well, all of the things Alina is mentioning are expensive or are very hard to achieve. But I don't want you guys to think of this as things that are not reachable. Just to give you a quick background of myself, I am the second of four siblings. So there's six of us in my family. And the truth is, my parents don't have a lot of money. They have paid for our education, public education, no college, no fancy schools. And me and my brothers have had to uh, earn everything that we need in our daily lives. So I do not come from a family of riches per se, but due to the tool of the English language, I have been able to um, accomplish many things. Okay, so I want you guys to think of this as something that you yourself can do, and you do not need to be from a wealthy family to get where you're going. Okay. So, why do we need English for our future lives? I think the most important of the points that I am going to talk about today is about information. Nowadays, we are in a globalized world, and there's a lot of information out there. Okay, so we can talk about English as a universal language. I know we have a lot of information in our native language, which is Spanish, and sometimes we have translations, and we have a lot of facilities or things that help us reach information um, in our native language. Nevertheless, there is so much more information out there that is not in our native language yet. Okay, so it's very important for us to think about how we can grasp all of the information, because information is knowledge and information is power. Okay, and this is what is going to help us achieve our goals, um, reach uh, our knowledge that people don't that all people have access to. Okay, so if we have more access to this information, we are always going to be one step ahead. More opportunities. Okay, so English helps us have more opportunities. You maybe you have heard many times of people that are very bright, that are very dedicated, that are very good in school, and maybe they would be the perfect fit for a job, or maybe they would be the perfect fit for a school in another country. But if they don't have this tool, which is English, they will not be able to communicate in these other opportunities. So you are closing your world to only opportunities that are in your native language. Nevertheless, if you have this disadvantage of a second language, you will have twice as many opportunities, and maybe sometimes they will choose you instead of another person that does not have twice as many opportunities as you, or two languages. um, I had the opportunity to but I'm going to mention that a little bit more ahead, to study in a Polish school when I was finishing my university. And in this school, many people from different places of the world came. And here in Mexico, I am accustomed to always having more opportunities because I have two languages. I have English and Spanish. But when you go out there in the real world, you see that there's people that even know three languages or four languages or five languages. So you learn that English is not that it doesn't put you that far ahead. It's really actually basic. Okay, so if we want to be in that position of not having disadvantage, this is our basic tool, English, because maybe we can know different language like French, like Italian, and this is, will also open opportunities and will also open information. But there are people out there that see this as a basic. So imagine going out there into a competitive world, a globalizing, growing world, and not even having the basis. It's like going to apply for a job and not having finishing high school, or not having finished elementary school. As the world grows, we need to open our basics. Okay, so let's think of it like this. Another very important advantage that English gives us is communication. Okay, communication for, as I said, a globalized world. Nowadays, we don't only use services from our country, which is Mexico. Sometimes we hire services from the outside of the world. Okay, so imagine if you bought a service and you need communication to solve a problem, and you need something solved, and that other person, since she does not live or he does not live where you are from, they cannot solve your problem because you are not able to communicate effectively. Okay, so sometimes it is just as basic as communication for problem solving, for our basic needs being met. Okay, so now right now we have three very important points: information, opportunities, and communication. And you could say these are basic, these are not like any sort of luxury, you know. You need information to learn and to grow as a person. You need opportunities so that you can develop yourself and grow. And you need communication for problem solving and for development. Okay, so right now we're talking about basic things. So English is very important in these three matters. We're going to go a little bit more into more luxurious thing, not so much basic anymore. So English also helps us form relationships. And why are relationships important? Making friends, making relationships with people that will be able to give you a job in the future, or a person that is going to be able to recommend you in the future is very important. And sometimes the people that can help us, or the people that we want to become friends with, um, do not speak our language. So we need to find a middle ground. As I said, I had the opportunity to make friends from all over the world: French people, Italian people, American people. And sometimes you have to meet these people in the middle to be able to make those relationships. Maybe they don't speak English as their native language, but and you don't, but that's the language that most likely you will have in common. I have friends that have made relationships through this, through language, okay, so and through communication. So maybe sometimes if you do make these hard relationships, and you make them last and you keep them, maybe these people will be able to help you in the future. For example, let's say I have a friend in Paris and I want to visit Paris, but maybe the hotel is very expensive. But my friend is telling me, "Oh, you can stay at my house." She's facilitating my uh, my human experience because we have built relationships. Okay. Or sometimes maybe if you're looking for a job in another country and you need somebody to vouch for you, to say that you're a good person, to say that you're honest. These people and these relationships will help you along your life if you want to expand your horizons. Okay. And another very important point, and it's also a little bit maybe luxurious, but it's also we're also here to have fun, right? We're not here just to work. We're not here just to study. The reason we study and the reason we work is because we want to do fun things. We want to be able to travel. We want to be able to have fun, to do all these kinds of things, right? Uh, like we would say, we don't do this just because we're searching a better lifestyle. Okay. So English will help us when we do achieve that lifestyle that we're looking for. So we already used it for our basic and for our growth, and now we get to enjoy what we have accomplished. Okay, so to be able to better enjoy this, English will also be important. Imagine you have worked all year and you paid for these vacations that you really earned because you worked super hard, and you go to a place where they don't speak Spanish. To have more fun and to be able to problem solve, to be able to communicate and make relationships, you're going to need English as well. And maybe for basic things such as going to the store, buying a coffee, asking how much something is, asking for directions, all of these are basic things that we might need if we want to enjoy something that we worked really hard, maybe a vacation, a travel experience. Also, right now you guys are studying, and you're making relationships and you're learning new things, but sometimes you have the opportunity to also study in a different country. And it is very important, if you want to have this chance and this opportunity, to be able to communicate and take classes and understand the English language. Imagine that you get offered a very good scholarship to study in a very prestigious university, and the only prerequisite is for you to understand English because you're very smart, and some school in another part of the world would want to have you as a student, but you don't understand the English, so you cannot go study there because you are not going to get understand the classes. You're not going to be able to socialize. Okay, so these are some of the points that I wanted to touch with you today, and I'm going to go a little bit more in depth of each one. So, as I said, the first point was to reach more information. What kind of information am I talking about? Okay, so maybe books, maybe books that are in English and that are not in Spanish, or that have not been translated. Maybe you are super fan of, I don't know, what novels are popular nowadays for you guys, but I'm going to give an old example because I'm not as young as you. Harry Potter, I don't know, maybe a Harry Potter, you're super fan of Harry Potter and the book is out and you really want to know what happens next. You already read all of this, the book series, and you want to read the next one, but the first one coming out is the English version, and you have to wait maybe a year for the Spanish version to come out, and maybe somebody will spoil you and they will ruin all the fun. So that's not going to be very fun for us, right? We want to get that information and we want to get it first. We want to be first in line. We don't have to wait to reach something or wait for somebody to translate something for us. um, Another thing that is also a very good example is movies. Whenever you go to the cinema and you watch a movie, do you guys enjoy watching a translated movie or do you like to read the subtitles? Sometimes it could be kind of boring, don't you think? Like watching a movie and having to read and maybe not paying attention to the pictures and the scenes because you're reading really quickly to try to understand what is going on. If you have a better uh, English level, you might not need to read at all. Maybe you could just listen to the movie and enjoy it. Or even in some cases, there are movies that are not translated in Spanish ever. So you need to read the subtitles in English. Maybe there's just some English subtitles and there's no Spanish subtitles, or there is no translation. So you might miss out on that movie, or you might not get to watch it because you do not understand. Maybe it's in Chinese, maybe it's in French, and we don't know English, Chinese, or French, so we don't get to see it. Another example are articles. Articles are very important now that you guys are in university. Probably you get a lot of examples and knowledge from articles, scientific articles. Maybe you have a lot of your classes or a lot of information for your classes are in English, and maybe you have an English homework and it's read an article. And maybe if that homework would take you 30 minutes, if that article was in Spanish, now it's in English and it's going to take you 2 hours because you have to um, translate it or do something before you can actually do the homework. So you're adding an extra step to this homework because you do not um, dominate the language. So it makes it easier for us to be able to read everything firsthand. Another type of information that we can reach in English are magazines. Maybe for boys that really like football, a sports magazine. So not all magazines they're usually not translated. They're usually just in the language that they come out. So maybe you're a very big sports fan, and there's a magazine that gives all the sport information, and you're not able to understand it because magazines usually don't get translated. And the last type of information is music. Um, I think this is the most common thing we listen to or read or receive in English. Usually, a lot of music genres or the popular songs are in English, right? So it's really nice to sing something and to understand what you're saying. Maybe you don't just like the jingle, but you also like you can connect with the lyrics, with the letter. Okay, so this is just a few examples of information that we could have firsthand if we take advantage of the English language and we really, really practice, right? And the second point that we were talking about were opportunities. Okay, so I think the two main opportunities that you will always have with the English language are work related, because I'm pretty sure all of your teachers tell you that nowadays most jobs ask you to have some knowledge of English, because usually they have English relationships or English problem solving. So really appreciate a person or a worker that speaks English. There's also many jobs, many type of work that are English only. So maybe you could, for example, now that we are trying to learn a different type of working environment, and a lot of people do home office, right? They don't have to go to work, they just do work from home. Maybe now that home office is so popular, you could be hired from jobs all over the world if you are able to communicate and speak English. And maybe you could be paid in dollars or in another currency that is better than the Mexican peso. And you could do that from work, and you don't have to go to an office. You don't have to move to a foreign country. And you could just do this from your home, speaking another language. So it's very important to understand how these opportunities really broaden when you have two different languages that you can count on. And the second one is scholarships. Okay, so we all want to go, we all want to travel, we all want to try to go to different schools, but sometimes we have the invitation and we meet the requirement, but sometimes maybe we might not have the funds to go to a school in Spain, to go to a school in the USA, in Canada. So we need to apply for scholarships, right? Necesitamos becas. We need money. Maybe you're not from a wealthy family. Uh, and usually the scholarships requirements are speaking English, because they're investing on you to go to a different country. And if they want to take advantage of that opportunity and for you to bring that knowledge back to Mexico, you need to be able to reach information, make relationships, communicate. So it's more likely that a scholarship will be awarded to somebody that they know that will take advantage 100% of that experience, right? So maybe, uh, okay, you're going to another school in another country. You don't speak English, but you're going anyway. You might not make friends. You might not understand all of the classes. You might not get good grades because you're struggling with the language. So this is why scholarships are one of the main things that in my experience I have been able to take advantage because of English. I've been able to study in different schools all over the world without any money from me or from my parents, from money from government scholarships. And I think this is very important for people that do not have the generational wealth that maybe other people do have. So we have to try to put ourselves in the same position other people already have. So if we feel like we're falling behind because we don't know English, because we didn't have the opportunity to study in that school, we need to do the things that we can to put ourselves back in the race, okay? Para ponernos de nuevo in the position to compete and to grow and be the best we can. Okay, so this point, which is communication, I think this was already pretty much covered for problem solving. English is very important for problem solving. So maybe at work, at school, um, even when you were little and you played PlayStation and the game was in English and you didn't know what to do in your next mission, you needed English for that communication to solve that problem. So it's very important to have it at uh, our smallest convenience, so that we can use it and solve any problems, understand what is going on, and leave our problem solving to other factors that are not communication. And as I said, you also make relationships. With communication and relationships go hand in hand, okay? And you can make friends, you can make colleagues. Colleagues are like the people you work with or the people you study with, okay? So if you communicate and make relationships, maybe that person gets a new job that is very well paid in a very cool place, and they consider you a very smart person and that you're going to be a good addition to their team, they might bring you along because you have that relationship, and they are willing to speak good about you and put themselves on the line for you to get an opportunity. Okay, so friends and colleagues are very important. Also teachers, when teachers see that they have a bright student, and that student is capable, sometimes even teachers ourselves, we impulse these learners because we know that they are going to do a good job wherever they go. So it's very important for us to leave good impressions with our teachers. You never know what teacher can help you go to that school that you want to get that scholarship you're looking for. Maybe they know somebody from a job you're looking for, and they're going to tell them that you were the best of your class. So it's really important to maintain and nourish these relationships. And how are we going to do this? Through communication, through conversation, and all of these types of things. Okay, so relationships are also super key. And what kind of things do you get to do? You say, okay, you get to travel, you get to study abroad in another country, but what will I do when I do? Okay, so maybe you'll do a semester. Maybe you can do one semester, your last semester of university, and it will count for your school. Maybe you'll do your master's in another school, someplace in the world, or maybe your doctor's, your PhD. Okay, so you will be able to see these opportunities, and it's very nice and it's very comforting to be able to grab them because you have the tools. You have those tools to succeed. So you don't have to see opportunities pass by and ignore them because you think that you don't have the tools to conquer them. Okay, work trips. Sometimes, if we have a very nice work, maybe they might send us to places that we want to go. And you know what's the best part of a work trip? That you don't have to pay. So you get to go to places and you get to make new people, make relationships, enjoy, and you're working. So the most of the time you won't have to pay and you'll get to enjoy. Yes, you'll have to work, but you also get to enjoy that experience and meet new people. um, Holidays, maybe as I said at the beginning, you have worked all year, you earned this so much, you saved money, and you're going on a holiday and you're going to get to enjoy all that you have worked for. An academic congress, usually worldwide there are different congress of different topics. So maybe if you studied finance, if you studied law, if you studied programming, usually there are places where these congress concentrate, and you also get to make relationships. You go learn new things, you get to know all of the innovation in your field, you get classes, you meet a new place. All of these things are to be able to do them and conquer them, as I said, you will need this tool, which is the English language. And also special courses. Maybe you have a master's that you really have your head set into, and that master's degree or that special course is only in English. Imagine you're really interested in learning something, but you can't because you won't understand the class, or you won't be able to participate in that class. Okay, or won't be able to enroll into that school because it's not available in your language. So there's a lot of many things that we have to look for, and that is, as I said at the beginning, information. So special courses are information as well. Sometimes they are not always in our native language, and we need the tools to be able to choose what we want and not um, just choose what there is, if that makes sense. There's a difference between choosing and just sticking with whatever you have available, right? It always feels better that you get to decide. Okay, so why we always need to continue learning? Okay, Sometimes as a student we think I really want to finish university because this way I am going to finish and I'm never going to study again, and I'll be done with school and I'm just going to earn money and I'm just going to have a job. And we have this misconception that once we finish school we stop learning, and this is not the case. We need to have a mindset that is always ready to learn new things, because as I said at the beginning, um, this world is growing and the competition is getting bigger. Okay, and there's always going to be somebody that knows something more than you, and probably that person is going to be your competition for a scholarship or for a job, and you always want to be the one that is one step ahead so that you're the chosen one and you have the tools to be that person that they're looking for. Okay, so we always need to change our mindset and always think, what is next? What is there new for me to learn? What can I improve at? Okay, so I really invite you kids to change your mindset to I just want to finish university, and really think of, okay, what am I going to learn after this? What is next? What can I be better at? Okay, so always have your head and your mind in the future, because life is really long. And imagine, okay, we're 22 years old, we're finished with university, what is next? Oh, nothing, I finished, I'm done. Of course not. You have a whole life ahead of you to learn new things. You could even learn something, a whole new career if you wanted to. There are people that start university at 40 years old, and maybe you might think, "Oh, why would they learn at this age? Ya para qué?" But it's really important to always search for knowledge and new things so that you can be in that race at at the front of the line. Okay, and this really works for you, for your personal development. You need to be a better person, and this will also help you reach your personal interests. As I said, um, if you're always in this mindset of searching for new information, whenever you want something you are going to be able to get it. Okay, so you don't have to settle for anything. You can go and get whatever it is you're curious about now. Okay, so we really need to get our heads one step ahead. Okay, we always need to be one step ahead in a globalized world. Remember, there are people that know much, much more than us, and we need to always be conscious of that. Maybe you're the smartest person in your classroom right now, and you say, "Oh, I'm super smart," but you're going to go to a different school, and maybe you might be the least smart person in that classroom. So you always need to try and be the best wherever you go. And remember that there's always going to be competition. And if I know two languages, there's somebody out there that knows three. And if that person knows three, somebody knows four. There's always people that are going to be one step ahead. So we need to do our best to stop that back of the to stop and not be at the back of the race, right? Okay. And here, I know I told you at the beginning that I was going to give you some concrete examples. Okay, so I just want to give you some examples that I have been able to live thanks to this that I'm telling you. To always searching for new knowledge, to always be one step ahead, and trying to always learn new things. Okay, so here I have some pictures of different things that I have been able to accomplish thank, thanks to English language and to using it as my tool. And as I told you at the beginning, I'm not at all from a wealthy family, and everything that I have done has not been given to me. I have um, worked for it. Okay, and I think you guys need to always have this mindset as well. Okay, so for example, here, this picture right here, this is the first time I was in New York City, and I was in college. We went there for a school trip, and I had never been there, but I really wanted to go, and I knew the language, And thanks to this trip, a teacher of mine, he realized that I was a bright student, and from that point on, he was always trying to help me because he noticed me. He noticed that I was a proactive person, and he later invited me to work with him, and he gave me a scholarship, and then I got other opportunities from that on. So it's very important to always stand out and always show people what you know and what you can do. Okay, so this was pretty much like my first experience. um After that, at my last year of school, I was able to do a semester abroad in Poland, in the University of Warsaw. So here's a picture of me in Warsaw, and here's a picture of me in the university. I was there for 6 months, and I made a lot of friends. They're up here. There's some Italian friends, these friends from Georgia. There's I have friends from France. So now I have those relationships because of this experience. And as I said, you do go and you do work, but you also get to have fun in the process. Okay, so we have to work hard so that we can enjoy the process. After I came back from here, from this trip, from this student uh, abroad in Poland, I came back to university and I graduated. The teacher that took me to this trip to New York from my school, he invited me to work with him on my thesis. And after I finished my thesis, he then invited me to the University of Illinois. Is this picture here in the bottom? It's really tiny, but I was also able to be there for 3 months. So after I finished school, I was able to be in another school in Illinois, in Chicago, and I got to go to classes there and see how the college experience was for American people. And also in this school, I met another teacher that paid attention to me, and he noticed that I was a bright student, and he gave me a job as a teacher coordinator in a high school system in Cobais. So I got to work there with a lot of teachers and help them. And we actually use the Cambridge English materials. And thanks to that, to this job, I got to meet a lot of people. As you can see here, we are at a national conference here in Mexico City. And from this job, I was also invited to Cambridge to academic congress, and I got to go to classes. And all of this was from my job. Don't think that I was spending my own money. I was always invited. And from these relationships, I got hired in my current job right now. So now I get to work more close in hand with Cambridge. So before, I would be their client, and now I am the person that's working with them. Okay, so um, and here this is just a fun trip that I got to pay with my hard work. This was a pleasure trip. Have you guys heard of Coachella? So I went with my friends, and this is all from me always trying to make the best of all of the experiences and communicating and making relationships. And right now, well, I am currently working in Aprendere Press, and we work with Cambridge University Press. So I had many opportunities, as I said, thanks to this, to relationships, communication, having the tools, getting those that step ahead of people. So that would be all from my part. I would like to hear your comments, your questions. I don't know, Teacher Monica, if there's something you would like to add. Um, but I really just wanted to talk to you guys and give you examples of how it is possible that you don't need a lot of money and you don't need a lot of connections. You're going to build them yourselves.
Yes, we have chosen one question from the audience. It says, why do you think English has become so important worldwide above other languages?
I think that's a very good question, but basically this is a matter of history. This is just what if you guys can remember your history class, the well, the people that were traveling worldwide, and they were taking their knowledge and searching for knowledge worldwide, were English speakers. They were in majority the British Empire. Okay, so English got imported to all of these cultures. This is why it is so important. If you see, the British, they did not settle for their island or for their piece of land. They went in search in the world for new opportunities, for new culture, and they themselves distributed this information. So this is a very good example of what I am also saying here. This is why we never have to settle for what we have in front of us. We need to search, and with that search, there will come along growth. So I think this is why English is so important nowadays, because they are the culture that did not settle for what they had in front, but they searched and they expanded, and now we have to learn English because they were the ones that were one step ahead, and they were looking to learn new things.
That's right. Thank you very much, Licenciada Alina. We really appreciate your words and your time. You will be sent a recognition signed by Maestra Teresa Lizeth Martinez Plata, rector of this university. Thank you. The next lecture is what does a Mexican need to be successful abroad? Where a Mexican living in Belgium is going to share his experience in that country. So don't miss it. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good afternoon. Mexico is going beyond its borders through its talent. With more than 12 million Mexicans abroad, which includes over 1 million highly skilled professionals, the presence of the Mexican diaspora worldwide is seen nowadays as an asset by the Mexican government. It can support Mexico's national and regional development, increase international cooperation, attract business and investment, and promote a good image of the country and its people. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. To close with a flourish, the second day of activities of the UPSIS Bilingual and International Days, we are about to listen to a Mexican living in Belgium, who is going to answer the question, what does a Mexican need to be successful abroad? I'm delighted to introduce you to Ingeniero Eric Espinosa de los Monteros, industrial robotics engineer from Instituto Politécnico Nacional. He has been working for 9 years in the international railway industry. And I give him the word.
Hello, everybody. It's really a pleasure to be with you here, sharing a little bit of my experience. I've been making here in Europe. It's almost 9 years I'm working here in Belgium. And for me, it's really a nice opportunity to share with you how can we Mexicans be successful abroad. I think it's part of our experience to come here and to start a new way of showing us that in Mexico we have engineers of quality. And what I'm going to tell you today, it's just part of my experience. Is until what that I think it's a clue, it's a key for opening new challenge abroad. And also it's part of my experience, what I've learned in this long way during these 9 years working in Belgium. So what does a Mexican need to be successful abroad? Many times we have experience, we have asked ourselves what to do, what can I do to go there and have success in my life and success as engineer, as a professional abroad. Am I a good engineer? What can I do? Well, let me share with you some information. But first, I would like to share with you also my personal experience. So, I'm an industrial robotics engineer coming from the IPN Institute. I studied in the CIMIAS Capozalco. In 2009, I got my first job in Mexico. I was working for a company that they were making some radiology equipment, some geography equipment. By the way, I would like to achieve the opportunity to say hello to Ingeniero José Luis Sánchez, Luis Javier, Inge Javi, sorry. This was my first job. When I finished my school, the university, I wanted to work. I wanted to go out, earn some money, and having. So I was engaged with this company where I learned a lot. And at the end, it was missing something. I was willing something else, a bigger challenge. So then I have the opportunity to work for a French company in the line 12 of Mexico. Everybody will say, line 12 nowadays. I know it's a little bit famous, this line 12, but I was working in the automation of the line. So I'm a robotics engineer. I was engaged. It was my first job in this railways industry. So we were working to develop and to install the automation of the line. For all those that you don't know, this line is built with the newest technology that we have in these days. So we were installing there, and during 3 years, I could experience this opportunity of working with foreigners, working with French engineers. But in that project, it was not just French engineers, but also there were some Brazilians, there were some Italians, there were even a nice colleague from India. And then you start looking at Working as Mexican with foreigners is not that bad, first, and second also, I'm able to do exactly the same what they are doing. So I can do it. Then the project finished, and I had the opportunity to come to Belgium in 2013, also working with the same company. But in this case, I was working for projects all around the world. And one of my tasks that I had in this job, it was to develop the technology of the automation of trains all around the world, not just for metros, that what I was doing in Mexico, but also trains, high speed lines of trains, also metros, main lines. For those that have been in Europe, you can see that in here is really popular the trains for passengers. So all those kind of things, there is a automation behind. More or less, for sure, not all of trains are driverless, but every system, there are certain machine behind controlling them, I would say like that, just to make it safe. So thanks to Alstom, I came to Belgium since 2013, in the beginning of 2013. And working in Alstom, it gave me an opportunity to show, I would say like that, to show the world that in Mexico we have good engineers as me. and also personally, I realized that in Mexico, at least in the Politécnico Nacional, we get the knowledge that other engineers in the world also have. So I realized here that I was able to compete for a job, for a project with people of all around the world, and it was successful. Then some years later, in 2017, I took a course, a master in engineering system engineering. System engineering is a methodology, I would say like that helps how to manage and how to develop complex systems like railways, where you have plenty of variables, of aspects that have an influence on the system, and you need to take care of it. So developing automation for trains, it's really complex. So you need to have certain methodology to manage it. And thanks to that job, to that course, sorry, I arrived to my current job, that I'm the system architect of the new metro line at automation level. So I'm in charge, I'm responsible of what kind of technology we're going to put, what system we are going to develop and to make it, always according to the needs of the system. Steve MEVV in Brussels is, I would say, is the metro, is the STC of Brussels, according to Mexico City. So I work for the public transportation in Brussels. So thanks to that personal experience, I could learn a lot of things, but mainly, and what I want to tell you about that is that coming abroad as Mexican is a challenge, yes. It's difficult, yes, but not impossible. I would like to share with you some facts, mainly always related to Mexican abroad. So, according to the Instituto de los Mexicanos en el Exterior, in 2017, there were 11,008,537 Mexicans abroad. But the 97% of this population out of Mexico, they are just in the United States. That's really important, guys. Because the geography, because we are close to the US, for sure, most of the migration from Mexico goes to the US. It's understandable, but it's not the only opportunity you can have. Then, well, you have just almost 2%, 3% of these Mexicans abroad that we are living all around the world, and mainly in Europe. Also, some facts that I would like to share with you is that 50% of people abroad, of Mexicans abroad, are women, and 46 are men. So that's also a really challenge. A lot of people say, "Ah, yeah, because you are men, you have better opportunities." No, more of the people that they are abroad, they are women, and they are having a lot of opportunities to go. So girls, you can do it, you can manage, and you will succeed for sure. Well, as according to the statistics, also most of the population outside Mexico, they are in the Americas, so means US, but also Latin America. 40% in Europe, 4% in Asia, in Oceania 2%, and more or less the same in Africa. In this talk, I will be focused on Europe because in Europe is my experience and is what I want to share with you, is what I know. I don't want to come with you and tell you, this you can do this for something that I don't know. But I will. Europe is something that I've experienced, and I find it really possible to make it. And also more, the 10 countries that has the biggest registration of Mexicans abroad, taking out USA, is Canada, Spain, Germany, United Kingdom, Bolivia, Argentina, Netherlands, Costa Rica, Chile, and Panama. So you see, these countries reflect more or less the percentage I just showed you. And you have countries like Germany, UK, Netherlands, that they are really lacking of people. Also Spain, but Spain, I will put it separately because they speak Spanish. But in those countries, speaking English is always important because it's the common language between plenty of nationalities that we work here. Another fact, I will show you a little bit of statistics, is that in Europe, according also to these statistics of the foreign minister, 35% of people, of Mexicans in Europe, are professionals. Then we have students, 20%. Then we have homemakers, people are just coming here, they are married here with 15%. And then we have employees, we have entrepreneurs, missionaries, retired people that make almost the other part. What I mean, what I want to show is that professionals are the biggest population among the population abroad of Mexico in Europe. So there is plenty of possibilities that you can profit, that you can achieve, sorry, and take the opportunities to come and not just come here and have a fun as tourists, but also working and having a life. I will show you something else. When I show you this 35%, maybe some of you will say, well, what can I do? What kind of professions can I have over there? So today, the jobs available for Mexicans living in Europe are mainly for qualified workers, I would say like that. So in developed countries, such as Europe, but not Europe, but Germany, France, Belgium, Netherlands, they are countries that they are known because of the development of technology. But at the same time, they have a shortage of people high qualified. It means they are missing engineers, they are missing mathematicians, they are missing software engineers, they are missing people studying natural science, all professionals related with technology, developers, project managers, they are missing, and also medicine. They have a big shortage of doctors, for example. Nowadays, well, it's a common subject around the world with this pandemic. In Germany, in Belgium, they are closing some hospitals, not because they don't have the resource or they don't have the money to have it, just because they don't have enough workers, medicine, doctors, nurses, or whatever. So all this kind of shortage is a really good opportunity for us Mexicans that we can have this knowledge. when we go abroad and we work in another country, as I told you in the beginning, it's a big challenge. It's a challenge that if you manage to get it, it's a tool that you will have a lot. You will find it really useful in your life. Why? Because you have a lot of benefits working abroad. Well, first one, you will be able to adapt to a new culture. Depending on which country do you arrive, you will adapt to that culture. You will learn something. You will get new habits according to that culture. So you will get this adaptation. The main thing, you will have the opportunity to learn or even master new languages. For example, in Belgium, here normally we speak French, we speak Dutch, and in a few parts of Belgium they speak German. But we are close to Germany, so there are people speaking German. We are close to France, we speak French, Netherlands, Dutch. So everywhere you were working abroad, you will need to learn or to master a new language, and that's a challenge. And that's the thing I would like to make emphasis, because English is always important. I would say that speaking English is the basic nowadays to have succeed in this world of being professional abroad. When also working abroad, you will have a growth of professional networks all around the world. As I said, when I was working in Mexico with this French company, I could have colleagues from other countries that until today I still have in contact. And it's just a network that I have a friend that now is working in Hong Kong, that I can contact him, and we are all related, and your network it gets bigger and bigger. Guys, remember, this world works based on networks. More people you know, more people they know you, it's better. Also, another benefit increase the demand is the increase of demand in the labor field. What does it mean? As soon as you have more experience, you are going to be more asked, I would say. You will be more able to do things, or you will be able to be more experienced, I would say, like that, even in your field. And for sure you will become an expert. And at least in developed countries, once you are an expert, you are really good paid. It's not like in Mexico, unfortunately, but unfortunately in the other sense, here experience is well paid. Also, once you go abroad, in developed countries, you get specialized. So you're getting experience, you get specialized, and for sure, it should be in the sector that you are in interest. If you choose something that you don't like, that would be really, really difficult. But once you can have the opportunity to come abroad, it's important to specialize in your sector, in what you study. Also, when you come to Mexico, if you decide to come back to Mexico, you will have first the possibility of growth in the professional position. What does it mean? If I was just an engineer, then you become a system architect, or maybe a manager, or maybe a director, why not? And that will be once you get the international experience, that would let you the possibility of being promoted to bigger positions. That's why it's always a relationship win-win. If you come abroad, you learn, but then you come back to Mexico and you can go further and have for sure a better salary remuneration. So when there are some benefits that they are quite good. There are, I would say, it worth to come abroad and have the experience. It will change your mind, and for sure it will develop your capacities, your abilities at professional level. But for sure, there is always a but. Not everything is pink in this life, and there are certain things that you need to take in account for looking a job abroad. Today, the first thing, and I forgot to put it in the presentation, but guys, watch out. There are plenty of people making for these things. There are plenty, you can go, there are plenty of sites that they, I can get you first. It's just a fake job, and then they offer you, oh, yes, and then you pay and then disappear. So watch out with that. Second, they also, yes, come to Europe. I will hire you here, and then you are working in, I don't know what, everything unless what you were promoted. So watch out with these things. It's always to be, it's important to be informed. It's important to read, to ask the embassies. So if you're going to Belgium, it's important to go to stay in contact with the Belgian embassy, to ask information about the company. It's important also to nowadays it's quite easy to go with Facebook groups. Just get in the Facebook groups as Mexicans in Belgium. Hey guys, there is a company offering me what? Is it good? Is it not? Don't hesitate to go further. So that's the first thing that is not appearing in this slide. But also, when we are looking at job abroad, we need to be conscious that there are other people also looking for the same thing. We are not the specials. We can make also the thing as others, but we are not the only one making it. So that's important. So what does it mean? That we need to keep pushing. We need to be the best, try to be the best, to develop better abilities, because there are other people around the world looking for the same position. And also, just what I told you is try to research some information about this employment, try to research information about this kind of job. Is it good? How much is paid in that country? It's always good to know if there is an unemployment thing about this, because maybe I don't know, you're specialized in something, but in this country there is no work for you. It's normal, because not all the countries are the same. But it's important for you to research about this and just to know exactly what is going on the country that you want to go. And the third thing that I would like to say that is important to take in account is the development of skills. As I told you, there are many people looking for the same job, and mainly all around the world looking for the same job here in Europe, for example. So what does it mean? We need to keep training, and we need to develop more and more skills. And in that sense, I would say that it's important to develop two kinds of skills. First, the hard skills, and second, the soft skills. The hard skills, maybe for all of us, are really familiar, I would say. And it's all these teachable things that you can get in the university mainly, all these kind of things that you can get in the books, all these kind of things of maybe you can get it on YouTube if you want to follow some tutorials. But important, and I put it in this red square, it's proficiency in a foreign language. So guys, you should speak English. It's the minimum, at least in Europe, yes. Because if you're coming to Germany, you should speak not just English, but also German. If you're coming to Belgium and you want to get a nice job in Belgium, you need to speak French and Dutch. So it's important to have a foreign language, English, plus another if possible. Also, a hard skill that it's important to have is a degree or certificate. Guys, it's important to finish the university. It's not easy. You will not sleep, yes, I know, but finish the university, got your diploma, and keep training. Make a master or even a doctorate, it doesn't matter, but get the degree. Another kind of things more according the field you are, for sure, things like typing speed or operating a machine. I don't know if you are working, you're making a turn, or you can make anything you can learn. It's hard skills. That's mainly in terms of machine, but also coding, also programming. If you want to learn any language, Java or whatever, it's important to know it. Please keep training, and I will give you later a couple of sites where you can still having trainings for free, or if you want to get a degree or the certificate, you have to pay, but they are for free. And in the other side, that also it's important to know, it's the soft skills. What is the soft skills? Is all these interpersonal things that you should learn, like good communication, flexibility, leadership, teamwork, time management, all these abilities that you need to apply them to get the perfect balance with the hard skills you know. So guys, that's important. I will make again emphasis in this foreign language. English is important. I will give you these two sites. Please take it now. It's Coursera or EDX. If you visit these sites, you can follow any kind of tutorial, courses, of almost whatever, I would say, automation, dynamics, materials, coding, whatever. It's a really, really nice platform, both of them. They are really nice platforms, so you can get more knowledge for your hard skills. And even there are some courses for soft skills in these sites, so it's important. Well, if I already know what kind of jobs I can get, maybe I have the profile, what should I need to go to Europe? Legally, that's important also. So this information is according to the Belgian embassy. And first is, you need to know that in Europe, at least, the life is expensive. It's more expensive than in Mexico. So you need to have certain economic funds to survive, at least to live here, meanwhile you get the job. It's not just like the US that you can go and just live and making any job, meanwhile you get a better. No, here is not easy. So you have to have certain savings to survive for a while here. For sure, you have a current criminal record clean. So that means that you are not a criminal, or you are not involved in problems with the law. So that's important. For sure, you need to be over 18, just to be in the legal age of work. You have to have a valid passport or approved visa. So in Europe, you can come just with your passport, but you just can stay 3 months, and that's not enough for working. If you want to come to work to Europe, you need to have an approved visa for working. So that's important, guys. A lot of people have asked me, hey, but I can go over there and can I work in 3 months? No, 3 months are not enough for getting a job. And if you stay more than 3 months, you are not legal. So please avoid these kind of problems and take it always legally. Once you are getting a job in Europe, also it's important to have a company contract or an academy acceptance if you are coming to study, or everything that can validate your staying here. So it's always important. And also a procedure, you can get it, but it's all apostilled and legalized and translate documentation if necessary. Your diploma, your certificate of birth, everything should be apostilled, legalized, and translated according to the country you are. If you're going to Germany, should be in German. If you're coming to Belgium or France, should be in French. If you're coming to the Netherlands, Belgium, can be in Dutch. And always also an important a medical insurance. That's just in case. It's always to have a medical insurance. And these are kind of the requirements that you should have for coming to Europe. And certain aspects that before immigrating, imagine you already have all these requirements I just showed you. It's important to know that in Europe, climate is different. The weather is not nice in some times. Cost of living, as I told you, is a little bit expensive life here, so watch out, guys. Immigration status. Please avoid problems and avoid being illegal here, because if the country realize that you are in illegal, you will need to quit the country immediately. So that's important. When someone offers you a work abroad, first thing is, okay, I'm going with you, but which is my immigration status? Ah, you will be worker. Perfect. I give you a work visa. Perfect. Ah, no, I don't know. Maybe you just with your tourist visa. No, that's not it. And the second way is the time of contract. Which kind of contract would you tell me? No, it's just a determinate contract. Okay, how much? How long? 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years? No. Ah, no, it's a non-determinate contract. Okay, that's forever. Okay, that's nice. And the social integration. Guys, Europe is not Mexico and cultures are different. So it's part of integration that you be here. You need to adapt your habits and you need to adapt certain traditions where you are. That's important. It's not easy, but it's important to have it. Another important and really important aspect to have for having a work abroad is having a CV in English. It's always. For us, yeah, we will have a CV in Spanish, but we are going abroad. So if the vacancy it's in English, okay, you can manage to in English. But maybe if you're applying to a job in another country where the English is not the official language, you will need also to translate it into the official language, to German, to Dutch, to French, or Chinese, or Japanese, or whatever. So watch out with that. But at least you should make it in English. That gives you more flexibility to translate it. That gives you also flexibility to apply to more jobs. So guys, for those who are just graduating from the university, start translating your CV in English. Even send it to Mexico in English. Why not? Maybe they will tell you, ah, yes, but here we speak Spanish. No. Make it in English. You can download plenty of templates in the internet just to give you an idea what to say, how to say it, because terms are different. But it's important to have a CV in English. And also, some works make things here. They ask a motivation letter. It's a small letter where you explain why do you want to apply to that job, blah blah. Also, you should make it in English. And well, you should have it in the language that you will need it. In English plus in the language of the country where you apply. So after all these things, we have all the requirements. You have the tips I'm giving you, like the CV. But there is also something important, that is, what does a Mexican needs to be successful abroad? What do we need? And the thing is, to lose fear and pursue the opportunities. Believe in yourself. Today, there are plenty of scholarships that you can make. You can go and make, here in Europe it's called Erasmus, so you can go and make one period, one semester, one quadrimester in another country, come back, try to find scholarships, try to apply everywhere. I know that OCC, this internet site of for jobs in Mexico, they have an international section. Make it, apply it, go, believe in yourself, and just go. And that's all, Monica.
Thanks for sharing this valuable information with our students. We have picked a couple of questions from the audience. I'm going to read the first one.
Yes.
It says, could you say that Mexican talent is recognized there in Belgium, or there is still much to do?
I would say both of things. There is still too much to do because it's not well known. No, there are not many Mexicans. Well, there is a big wave of Mexicans coming in the last year, and high qualified people coming here, and people here are realizing that Mexicans are talented. Mexicans are capable to do things. why not to bring more Mexicans? So I would say yes for the both questions. We are talented, yes. We are able to compete with German engineers, with Belgian engineers, yes. The problem is we need to show us a little bit more. So that's the sense.
It's good to know that. And the second question is, many people choose the United States to emigrate. Do you think Europe is a better option for Mexicans?
Yes, but depends also the context. For sure, US is a nice opportunity. It's closer, and also it's a big industry. It's a big country. Yeah, but also Europe is a nice opportunity. It's a nice market in terms of development technology, but not just Europe. Today, also Asia, China, Japanese is growing a lot in that sense. The thing is, it's more difficult, so less people applies here. It's a little bit farther. It's not easy to come back to Mexico, and you have people, also talented people working here. So it's not easy, but not impossible. Europe is a nice opportunity. Yes, you can do it.
Thank you so much, Ingeniero Eric Espinosa. We really enjoyed this presentation. You will be sent a certificate of recognition signed by Maestra Teresa Lizeth Martinez Plata, who is rector of this university. Thank you again. And well, today we are done with the activities, but tomorrow there will be another 3 presentations, and we look forward to your presence. Thank you and have a nice day.